Hello, today I'm going to be doing a Russian care video on my two Russian tortoises, Boris and Shelly. Boris is a male, Shelly is a female. They live in this 5x3 foot Russian tortoise enclosure. A little about the Russian tortoise. Their scientific name, Testudo horsefield, or commonly known as the Russian tortoise, or steppe tortoise, Afghanistan tortoise, four-toed tortoise, and even the Russian box turtle. They were found in Afghanistan, Pakistan, Iraq, China, and Kazakhstan. Most commonly found at Petco. They're a great starter tortoise, though if you get your tortoise from Petco, I recommend taking it to a vet and getting a fecal sample to make sure it doesn't have any parasites or worms or anything. Could possibly lead to another major problem with your tortoise. These guys, they're easy to take care of. They don't require a lot of attention. They do need to be fed every single day, or you can feed every other day. It's your choice. They do like to be, well, mine like to be soaked, but you should soak them at least 3 times a week. It keeps the enclosure a little bit more clean. They do pee and poop when they soak, and they do drink their water while they're in there. So in my enclosure, I do not have water, considering I soak them quite frequently. Their enclosure, it took me about a week to make. It was quite simple. It was fairly cheap. The lamps were about $8 for both of them. I'd recommend getting them at a hardware store, but make sure they have ceramic at the end of them instead of the plastic, so the plastic will melt. On that light, I have a 160 watt UVB bulb, UVA. And the other one I have a regular incandescent light bulb. I have the substrate I'm using right now is 50% sphagnum moss and topsoil. I got that at the hardware store for less than $8. They love to burrow in it. They stay fairly clean in it, and it holds humidity quite well. The Russian tortoise, they like eating some broadleaf plants. Some of my tortoise's favorite foods are collard greens and romaine lettuce. With the romaine lettuce and the collards, they get their water that way too. You can also feed them some endive, escarole, chicory, turnip greens, mustard greens, kale sometimes. Just do some research and figure out what's best. I recommend going to tortoiseforums.org. It's a great place. They have tons of information. And all the owners are pretty experienced there, and they're willing to help you as much as possible. But let's take a look inside the enclosure. Got a nice little heater over there. Keeps it about 75, 80 in my room. I do live in Minnesota, so it gets kind of cold. Here's Boris. He's eating. He eats a lot. He's cutie. Here's their basking area. It gets about 100 degrees under the lamp, and the temperature variant goes from about 90 to this little area right over here, right next to the lamp, and then 70 over there. There's their little humid hide. I got some fake plants in here that I got at the Michael's craft store for pretty cheap. I squirt down their enclosure about twice a day with 2 full bottles of this to keep them hydrated. And I do supplement their food with this Repcal with D3, considering they go outside probably a couple times a year, so it's best for them to get some vitamins in there. As you can see, I got a lot of substrate in here. It's pretty deep. It's about 6 inches deep. I got Shelly's over here. She dug herself pretty deep. And as you can see, Boris is munching away. Right now he's eating romaine lettuce, and some collards are mixed in there. And then I got Shelly's little dish over here. Some little bit of carrots and some collards and some romaine lettuce. Got a nice little climbing rock for these little guys. They're fun animals to have. Mine are about 5 inches now. I do plan on getting another female, so Shelly doesn't get harassed as much as she does. Shelly and Boris have been together for a couple years now, so they're pretty used to each other. Usually they get along pretty well. Boris is just reaching sexual maturity, so he's starting to pester her a little bit. So I might have to separate them. But yes, Shelly's still burrowing quite a bit. They are getting ready for winter. They do have that internal clock, since they are wild caught animals. So they, at about this time of year, they start to slow down quite a bit, and they don't eat as much. But Boris never stops eating. He's a little chunk. If you guys have any questions on where to buy your stuff, how to find a healthy tortoise or anything, how to sex your tortoise, I'll do a video later on the difference between a male and a female. And I'll do some more videos. I want everybody out there to know the right way to take care of these little guys so it doesn't end up in a fatal thing. Another couple of things before I go, I want to recommend you try to give them as much space as possible. These animals roam in the wild, they get tons of exercise in the wild, and I highly recommend not keeping them in any glass tanks or anything. It can cause stress. These guys, they like their enclosure a lot. I think they feel pretty safe. They fall asleep with their legs completely sprawled out and their heads out. So I think they're pretty comfortable here. A Russian tortoise is a rewarding pet, and they're a lifelong commitment. So be prepared to have them for the long run. Now breeding these little guys, I haven't gotten to that yet, but I do go on tortoiseforums.org quite a bit, and I've read quite a bit. If you guys have any questions on anything, I feel pretty experienced. I think I know my shit, kinda. But any questions, just ask, or just go to tortoiseforums.org, ask questions there. People will help you. And anything else, just send me a message, and have a good day. Thanks.